Noong medyo kabataan ko pa, I remember we used to make a joke tungkol dun sa Filipino expression, saan ako lalagay? Paano mo i-Englishin yun? Saan ako lalagay? You know, when you are faced with that kind of situation where no matter what you say or what you do, you will not be able to please everybody. Kaya, nung kabataan ko, we jokingly invented the English expression, where do I put? You do this, they say something. You do that, they also say something. Where do I put? Saan ako lalagay? Sa Tagalog, gawin mo to, may masasabi sila. Gawin mo yun, may masasabi pa rin sila. Saan nga ba naman ako lalagay? Well, of course, the better way of putting it in English should be, where do I position myself? Sa ating ebanghelyo ngayon, gumagamit ng talinghaga, a little, metaphor si Jesus to describe the people of this generation. And he is observing how easily people could be swayed by public opinion or public expectation. Para bang ngayon, no? Kung ano yung nagba-viral sa social media that can control public opinion. Jesus observed, how leaders tended to dance to the popular tune just to keep themselves in power. The challenge is always greater on the people who try to make a principled stand and are determined to positively transform politics than be negatively transformed by it. Tandaan niyo yung nangyari kay Poncio Pilato. Remember, in-interrogate niya si Jesus and he was convinced na wala namang ginawang krimen si Jesus. And yet, naghugas kamay siya. Why? Because he was pressured. He gave in to political pressure to have Jesus crucified when the anti-Jesus group of Sadducees succeeded in asking to free Barabbas. Mas pinaboran pa yung magnanakaw, si Barabbas, than Jesus. What can you do when the thief is more popular? Ano bang magagawa mo kapag yung magnanakaw ay mas popular? More popular than the holy rabbi of Nazareth. Ewan ko kung sino nagsabi, but I heard the expression, I heard one person saying, the crowd chose Barabbas not because they loved him, but because they hated the truth. Hindi siya pinili dahil mahal siya. Pinili siya dahil kinamumuhian nila ang katotohanan. And I fully agree with that person, whoever it was, who said it. And here is how John describes what happened in the trial of Jesus. John 19 verse 12. Pilate tried to release Jesus. Dahil nga wala naman siya nakitang krimen. But the Jews cried out, if you release him, you're not serving in the interest of the emperor. This man is proclaiming himself as king, and so he should be regarded as an enemy of the state. He is committing sedition. Kaya, he gave in to political pressure. When politics deteriorates into a matter of power grabbing and power play, the leaders can be easily swayed by public opinion. They will tend to dance to the popular tune and forget totally about the principle of genuine governance and the common good, which is what politics is supposed to be about. instead of the people being educated by the political process, pinapatronize sila. They are kept ignorant, especially when leaders are more concerned about keeping themselves in power than about being of service to the common good. You know, listening to the gospel today makes me feel as if Jesus was describing the current situation in Philippine politics. The choice seems to be more about choosing the winnable candidates than about electing the truly qualified candidates. Choosing the winnable as against electing the qualified. Ay nako, pupulutin tayo sa kangkungan. We will go down the drain the moment our choice of leaders is determined by the results of the survey. Ay, iboboto ko si ganun kasi mataas sa survey. When our country becomes miserable, you deserve your misery. If you do not want that to happen, then we have to make the most of the next few months to allow the preparation for election to be a genuinely educational experience for all of us Filipinos. Huwag niyong iiwasan ng usapang politika, pag-usapan ninyo. Edukasyon yan. There is hope when people go out of their way to understand the issues. When people try to review their history properly. When people try to know the background and track record of the candidates. May pag-asa. There is hope. When people no longer vote according to the amount of money that they can get from the candidates. There is hope when it is the people themselves who will voluntarily spend from their own pockets and their own resources just to support the electoral bid of certain candidates because they are really convinced about what they stand for. Yun ang magandang politika. Ang gagastos, hindi yung politiko, kundi yung tao na gustong yun ang dapat. Silang dapat. Actually, that is our obligation in conscience. Suportahan naman natin yung dapat suportahan. There is hope when people are becoming more open-minded and critical. Kasi matalino naman ang tao, pwedeng kausapin. When people use their discernment, when they truly participate in the electoral process in a meaningful way, when they go out of their way to persuade others. Hindi sapat yung ikaw lang ang kumbinsido. Tulungan mo ring mabuksan ang isip ng iba. When they are motivated only by concern for the common good, for the future of our country, for a government that your children and your grandchildren deserve. Maawa naman kayo sa susunod na generation. Please. Jesus was never the type who allowed himself to be easily bothered or easily conditioned or swayed by popular expectation or public opinion. Kasi dapat baliktad. We shape public opinion. He knew well na mayroong mga tao na kapag tumingin sa donut, ang nakikita yung butas imbes na yung donut. There are people who look at a half-full glass and see it only as half empty. Well, in today's gospel, Jesus ends by saying, Wisdom is vindicated by her works. Yes, only by her works, never by empty talk, never by empty promises.